Even school children, primary school children in England will laugh at Indian astronomy. That is what Macaulay says. So many discoveries are pointed out in this book. The Chinese invented gunpowder, printing, paper, and so on. All these things are not recognized. Not only recognized, they are debunked. That is a very unfortunate thing. You know, Vedic Indians mastered the square root. The Chinese geologists invented an instrument in AD 132 to indicate the direction of shock waves when the earthquake is likely to happen. Teresi also points out that during the Dark Ages, see, Dark Ages only for Europe, not for the entire world. When Europe was undergoing the Dark Ages, the rest of the world was very active with discovering other knowledge systems. So during the Dark Ages, because it was the Islamic Empire period, 5th century to 15th century, the Islamic scholars synthesized all Chinese, Indian, and other knowledge systems, and that actually percolated to Greece. That is how the standard model of Western science takes it mostly from the Greek tradition. We all know about so many Indian mathematicians like Aryabhatta, Brahmagira, and so on and so forth. In the West, only in the 16th or 17th century that scientists like Kepler and Copernicus and Galileo discovered that the earth is a sphere. But they faced religious persecution from the church. In India, there was no conflict between religion and science. Our scientists were not at all persecuted. Only in the 17th century, some advances were made in the Western science. Only in the 19th and 20th century, it got more and more institutionalized. But he also asked a very interesting question: what is the impact of Western science? Apart from minor contribution to our everyday life, like a refrigerator and technology and so on, the greatest contribution of Western science is the war machine. Global terrorism. Because somebody asked, what is the remedy for global terrorism? Convert everybody into Jains. Then terrorism will stop. Global terrorism. Now technology is taking over science actually. Now there are very recent advances that are made now that are called post-humanism and transhumanism. That is, we want to transcend the human situation and artificial intelligence, cyber and so on. Even as Western scientists like Stephen Hawking very clearly says, artificial intelligence is the greatest threat to humanity. As a result of all these developments now, we are becoming less and less human and more impersonal. But fortunately now, there is a lot of awareness that is taking place. See, the European Microbiological Organization is coming out with a number of reports. In one of the reports they say, modern or Western science may not be best suited to fulfill all the tasks, as its view of the world is too constrained by its characteristic empirical and analytical approach. We must therefore remember the contributions of the other civilizations to the understanding of nature. Now, such traditional or indigenous knowledge systems are increasingly being used not only with the aim of finding new drugs, but also to derive new concepts that may help us to recognize empiricism and science. So we have to concentrate even on new knowledge systems. So many of them are available. Now, Western science has become more like a tsunami, like the English language. It is swallowing all other systems now. But diversity is the law of nature. You can't uniformly say every science is just one and that is Western science. We can't say that. So diversity is the law of nature. How can we destroy diversity? It is there in nature, in culture, in languages, in religion, everywhere. Why should it not be accepted even in science? There are so many sciences available. For example, our Indian science can be classified, I would call it Indian science or Indian Shastra to be more precise. The inner science, which is totally neglected by the West, like yoga, meditation, and even mindfulness, vipassana. We have got so many other rich concepts. Similarly, in social science, we have Anekantavad that promotes tolerance, that promotes satya, aparigraha, and so on. And we have also the outer sciences. So, in fact, we should encourage more and more of the local system. So, this Terzi's book is a very important book that contributes to non-Western sciences. So, if we recognize all these things, then obviously we can't standardize science as one. So, I would like to appeal and say that probably because we talk about global vision, everywhere I see global vision. So as part of the global vision, they must also work towards a global science incorporating all the local knowledge systems. Probably the Mahavir Center might consider this as a topic for the next conference. So I don't need 12 minutes actually. So I can finish it even 10 minutes. Thank you all very much for the very patient listening. Mine is a very longish talk.
This is a time for discussion. So if you have any question, you may ask for all the three speakers.
I have a question. Science and spirituality, how today there is a rampant abortions going on in the country. How will science and spirituality will help? And this, do you think somebody said that you convert everybody into Jainism? If you convert everybody into Jainism instead of all Bharat, all Hindustanis, do you think the problem of abortion is going to solve?
Sir.
It's rampant, I can tell you.
So if you are still acting at the societal level or below, as far as the brain is concerned, if you don't evolve to higher levels of evolution, to a neocortex level, all these things will continue to happen. So actually evolution is why people said that Jainism, because Jainism is not just religion, but is a way of life. So if you try to accept that, not principally as a religion, but the way of life, you would always feel that you have the opportunity of getting evolved. But obviously, you need to change yourself, you need to remodel yourself, because most of the people within us, they are still acting at the societal level. And that is the reason of all these things which we talked about.
I have a question for Dr. Neurologist. You said that we are not using a neocortex to enough level, but even a decision of abortion is taken from cortex. It's a very cognitive decision. So I don't understand the scientific rationale between activating a neocortex. We all are using our neocortex.
So this probably neocortex involves analysis.
Yeah.
So you don't do analysis while you do abortion. It's more an emotional decision, which lies at the lower level. Are you getting my point?
It depends, but it could be a
No.
cognitive decision.
This is very clear that this is a situational, emotional, social issue where we accept the male child with a female child. This is a completely societal issue. If you are evolved and if you start thinking in terms of that you are going to kill someone, that is the analytical solution. And then obviously you will not go for it.
If I think I'm not able to... Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we'll proceed with the felicitation program. I would request our event head, Mr. Mishra, to be on dais. I would request Dr. Ashok Pangariaji to just come on the front side of the dais, please. Thank you. I would request Dr. Sudhir R. Jainji to be on dais. I would request Dr. Krishna Swami Natesan to be on dais, please.